Hello, world. It is time to get amongst it on Golf Subpar. Colt Knost, as always, joined by my main man, Drew, the sleazy man Stoltz. Drew, how we living?
I'm living great, dude. Good to be back with you after a nice little Thanksgiving weekend. How was it Thanksgiving?
It was
Anything
fantastic.
special?
No, just, a lot of sleep, a lot of food, a lot of booze. Pretty normal.
A lot of
Didn't have to
football,
be Thanksgiving for that.
A lot of bad gambling. Just
Yeah.
a normal week with some turkey in the middle.
I'll tell you who had a good Thanksgiving. Our man, Charles Barkley.
Ah.
How about his performance in match number 3? Him and Phil Mickelson getting the job done against Steph Curry and Peyton Manning. I was so proud of the guy.
So, same with me, dude. Going into it, I was like, I don't care who wins. Couldn't care less. I just hope it's fun. I hope there's good banter. But more than anything, I was like, Chuck put himself out there on an island. Like, he's open to criticism. No one knew what to expect. I was like, please just play golf. Just go get it around. You don't have to be perfect. You don't got to be great. Just get it, because we know that on the range he's been okay, right? Like, he's been able to hit it and stuff, and we saw it leading up. I was like, but that first tee shot, dude, I literally had like sweaty palms. I was like, Chuck, just hit this, just get it on grass and keep it moving, because if that hit showed up, I was like, it's just gonna be an avalanche of bullshit that he's got to talk about.
He didn't hitch it one time the whole day. He hit some bad shots, but he had a lot of good ones. We had him on our Sirius XM show, Gravy and the Sleeves, yesterday. He sounded like a kid on Christmas Eve. He was so excited about how he played and how his golf game is trending. He's like, look, all you guys have peaked. He goes, I'm just now getting better. So,
yeah, you guys are on your way down.
Yeah.
I'm on my way up. But you're right. It was cool to talk to him and just hear how excited he was just to play golf, because that's all he wants, dude. He's not going to go trying to shoot par or anything like that. Just let me go play with my boys, be able to get it around, keep it moving, and make some pars and hit the. And he did it in the hardest spot possible ever. Because if it's going to come back, if that hitch is going to come back, I mean, national television in front of the world, like, that's the time. So I was so happy for him that he played the way he did.
I'll be honest, the Chuck tees helped out a lot. Him not having hit driver everywhere was a big key to their success. They had a nice strategy going in, him and Phil. Phil was a little cheerleader out there with his pom-poms, giving him a little mental coaching on every single tee shot, everything.
A little mental coaching.
Yeah, sorry.
Holy God,
sorry,
the man gives some info, doesn't he? I mean, dude, like, first hole's like, what do you think? Inside right edge or whatever. 4 minutes later, after Phil goes through the whole thing, it's like, oh yeah, it is right edge. But I was like, yeah, maybe just say that to start.
Yeah, but I love these events. I think it's really, really fun. I think we definitely need to get 2 pro golfers involved, where it's not just 1 on 3 like it was this week. But I think you get 2 pro golfs, 2 other celebrities. I think we're going to see a lot of these events, and they're really, really fun.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, it is what it is. It's just something to fill the gap, have some fun golf, get some people out there that you haven't seen before. And I think you're right. It became apparent. Like, Chuck was the wild card going in, right? Like, if he does what we've seen in the past, anything could happen. Phil might not be able to play a shot. He can be kind of neutralized. Once Chuck was up from those tees and getting it on grass, I was like, this thing's over. Look, one team's got a 5-time major champion, and one team doesn't, and that's kind of what it turned into.
Yep. In the end, it was a runaway, but you know what? They raised a lot of money for charity. It was a great event, a lot of fun to watch, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there will be a next one, hopefully around the summertime, and get some new people in there and maybe some old names too. I think Chuck will be involved either as a player or a broadcaster. That's the thing, though. Having him play is fun. But he's my favorite guy in the booth, too. Yep. So once he plays, it's like he's not in there. And I'd like to see him in there, too.
Yep. It's a lot of fun when he's involved. And I'll tell you what's going to be a lot of fun is this week's interview, Sleaze. We got the man, Justin Thomas, down in Florida, and it was a blast.
Dude, I feel like I say this a lot, but I'm not lying when I say it. I feel like this is one of my favorite ones we've done. I mean, JT is – we've seen him on match number 2 and how good he was in front of the microphone. But there's so many guys out there that are aware of their brand, I guess, and how big they are and stuff, and are kind of – hesitant to loosen up and really show who they are. JT isn't one of those guys. No. Like, he's just, you sit around with him, it's just like sitting around with one of your boys. Like, but yet he's the number 3 golfer on the planet right now.
Yeah, he lets it go. That's what I love about him. He's very entertaining. He's funny, and he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. And I respect that a lot. I wish there was more guys like that were willing to throw it out there. But I get it. In the corporate world, you got to protect things a little bit. But here's Justin, who's just like, you know what? I am who I am. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, his last match, he called Chuck a fat ass on national. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of players that even if they wanted to, be like, that might sound bad, might get people offended or whatever. JT's like a regular dude. We had so much fun playing with him, and I mean, he opens up his house to it. Yeah, come on down and let's record from your house. There's just not a lot of guys that'd be willing to do that. He's one of the few, but this legitimately probably one of my favorite ones we've done.
He played some pretty good golf when we played with him.
He doesn't look terrible right now. So, yeah, he's in good form, I would say.
All right, well, I can't wait to get to it. I think y'all are going to love it. But before we get to Justin Thomas, a word from our official sponsor, Bushnell. Slaves, we got the Bushnell rangefinders right here. The Tour V5 Shift. These things are amazing. Got the Jolt technology for when you hit the pin, you know exactly how far you got. You got the slope up and down to know exactly how far you got to hit it. These things are incredible. It's hard to play golf without them.
If you don't have a V5 Shift, you're an idiot. Go out and get one. 99% of tour pros are using it. I don't know who the 1% is that isn't. But dude, it's just literally become a thing you got to have when you go play. I haven't played around a golf without one of these in ages, and Bushnell, the only brand I will use.
That 1% probably loses their card every year.
Yeah, they're out shopping.
Yep.
It's because they're buying theirs. They ain't even giving them to them.
Go get the new Tour V5 Shift from Bushnell. You can save $25 when you spend $100 at bushnellgolf.com by using coupon code Subpar25 during checkout. All right, here he is, the main man himself, Justin Thomas on Golf Subpar.
All right, what a treat this is going to be. We have a major champion, FedEx Cup champion, 13-time winner on the PGA Tour, but most impressively, I would say, probably the only guy on the planet who can call Tiger Woods dum-dum on national TV and get away with it. Justin Thomas, welcome aboard, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And occasional appearances from Frank.
Yeah, Frank.
We got an extra guest in
He's
here.
in your backpack. You got anything?
The Labradoodle. Tell him to get out of there, buddy. There's nothing for you in there.
No, but seriously, Justin, thanks so much. First
Yeah,
off,
man.
thanks for welcoming us into your home.
For sure.
It's a rather nice place. Got a lot more trophies than mine and Sleeves does, I'll be honest.
Slightly. Yeah.
Just a few.
It's all right.
But let's go back to the beginning, fella. Obviously, we've known each other for quite a
Yeah.
long time, but you've been destined to be a pro golfer since pretty much day one, I would say. You know, I remember your dad telling me you only wore pants instead of shorts growing up.
I did. Yeah, I don't. Looking back on it, it wasn't as cool as
You
it.
look tough, though.
I did, yeah. I at least for half of the year, I could play it off that it was pretty cold in Louisville, but summers are not cold in Louisville. But I still wore those pants.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it just all golf all the time?
I played other sports up until it mattered when how good you were, and then I stopped playing all the other sports because I wasn't very good at
What
it.
was your next best sport?
Yeah. If you're going to go pro in something else.
Well, you got to be good to go pro.
Yeah, man, you would have worked your way there, I feel like.
I mean, basketball is what I like the most besides golf. I played that up until 7th grade. Stopped in 8th grade because I didn't make the team in 8th grade. So that's
That'll do it.
yeah, but Michael Jordan didn't
Yeah,
make
so
the
you and
team.
MJ.
Jordan
Yeah.
got cut, too. What type of basketball player were you up before the career ran out?
Ball handler, passer. Wasn't really much of a shooter, so not very tall. Can't jump that
Jason
high.
Kidd-ish.
Distributor.
Sure, yeah.
Game manager.
Game manager.
guys are
That's
valuable.
me.
Yeah.
Smart,
Okay. Yeah, and then after that, after 8th, was it 8th grade where you got the axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was just shut down, straight golf all the time. Then you said, I'm just going to start winning everything I play in from now on.
You guys actually have me thinking that I might have been pursuing another career, but yeah, after that it was official that I sucked at every other sport, so golf better be my go.
You can hype anything up you want. We don't do a lot of fact checking here, so if you're like, yeah, dude, I was all state.
That's how a lot of it is
we
nowadays.
go
You
with
just
it.
say whatever you want, and if someone corrects you, so be it.
Woodland told us he was good at basketball too, and I know that's bullshit.
Yeah, everything he says is.
But we obviously found out you were really good at golf at age 16 when you played the Wyndham Championship, when you really thought you were a badass. Made the cut, shot 65 the first day, I believe.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that week. What do you remember from that week?
I remember being in over my head, getting there. I remember being excited because it was the first time I, was actually spent time around pros in the ropes. I mean, I'd seen them from being at tournaments and stuff, but my dad caddied for me. I mean, I remember every day having to show my credentials so the guy would let me in the range because he didn't believe me. And then a good story that I do have from that week, I was talking about this with someone a couple weeks ago, was on Friday. Friday we got rained out, or just with the time of year, had some rain and didn't get to finish. So on Saturday morning, came back out, and my dad heard the restart, 7 a.m. restart. That's when we're going to get going. So go home. I was staying at a friend's house that week, and we get out there at about 5:45, have some breakfast, and go down to the range. And I'm the only one on the range. Go putt. I'm the only one on the putting green. It was an 8 o'clock restart, not a 7 o'clock restart. So
Nice.
Getting a jump start.
I was like, man, these pros really don't warm up very often. And then I was like, why is nobody here? And like official was like, yeah, it's an 8 o'clock restart. And I looked at my dad. I'm like, really? So I guess that was on me too, but it's always the caddy's
No,
fault.
it's Dad's fault, Caddy's fault.
Yeah.
You remember who you played with that week?
Yeah, I played with Tommy Gainey and Chris Blanks the first 2 rounds. I remember Chris Blank shot 62 on Friday, and then I played with Jeff Clark and Jimmy Walker on Saturday, and then I MDF'd. I didn't make the cut on Sunday.
It's okay. It still made cut.
Yeah, exactly.
First off,
we count
what
that.
did you think of Tommy Gainey's action?
I remember it being interesting, but also, I mean, not of if this guy can do it, I can sort of thing, but it more of just make what you have work, because he clearly did. I probably remember Double D more than anything because he was caddying for him. And I remember when I hit my tee shot, he said, I remember that first tee shot I hit as a pro, and I felt.
Shut up, Don.
I was 16. I'm like, I don't know who you are, Don. I'm sorry.
Hey, weirdo. I would argue Gainey is maybe you could argue he's the most impressive guy because it is so weird and so all over the place, and yet he finds a way to get it done.
Yeah. Someone like Ted Potter too. I mean, he's won twice and looks different, but
There's many ways to do it.
that there is.
800 mini tour wins. Yeah.
All right. Well, obviously you're destined to be a superstar, but you take your talents to Tuscaloosa, to Alabama. Were you looking at going anywhere else, or was it Roll Tide all the way?
Yeah, I looked at a handful of schools. I mean, I wanted to make sure that I took as many visits as I could. I just wanted to at least know what was out there or know what could be happening. But now I looked at a bunch of different schools. I had it down to, I guess, 5 or kind of the ones that I took another visit to. Also had LSU, Florida State, Texas A&M, and Stanford, along with Alabama. And I loved all the other schools. It wasn't really a second. It was only Alabama. It wasn't any other way. And I'm glad I made that decision.
Did you get the Jesus Shuttlesworth treatment?
Yeah.
But no, I did not.
The bunny wasn't. Yeah.
I did not.
Oh Jesus. Louisville never in the mix.
No, it just was too cold. The
Was
weather.
Crabtree the coach there when you were there? Yeah.
Yeah. I took I hate to say this. I took visits. I kind of used them for the good basketball games. There
it is.
I went to I remember a UK LSU game, and then I think I went to a UVL UK game. So because those were still are hard tickets to get, but I made sure to make that
Well
count.
played.
Yeah, that's smart.
Smarter than I look.
Absolutely. Did Saban get involved in Alabama in the recruitment at all? Did you meet Nick Saban on your recruiting trip?
I did.
That's the game over. I feel like at that point.
Yeah, it was cool. I went. My unofficial was during the LSU game. LSU was another really good year. I think Alabama was a top 5 team. LSU was definitely top 10, maybe even top 5, and it's probably 2-3 hours before game time where they all probably 4 hours, and they all leave from the hotel, the Capstone, I think it's called, and Coach Saban kind of had a little room that he was set up in there, and Coach Sewell, the men's golf coach, is very close with Saban, so he's like, let's go in. I want you to meet someone, and went in, and my mom, dad, and I sat down and talked to Coach, and he's a huge golf fan, so he was talking golf, and I couldn't get through my head that they were about to play LSU, their biggest game of the year, and he was taking the time to talk to me. So well done by Coach Sewell there.
Yeah,
you still have a relationship with him. Y'all talk quite a bit.
Yeah. He's a great guy. I mean, he takes what he does so seriously. But for me, I ask him questions. I ask him for advice because he has such a great mentality and mindset, I feel like, toward competing and especially toward winning. And I think you can't really compare golf to many other sports, but he does a great job of trying to keep his players in the moment and be where your feet are is kind of what he always says. So that's something whenever I have a question about some form of mindset or mentality, there's a handful of people I talk to, and he's definitely one of them.
I got to ask you this real quick, because we've had you on our Sirius XM show many a times. And it was right after you got a text from Jack Nicklaus telling you congratulations when you actually didn't end up winning. And there's a lot of emojis involved. Yeah. Who sends more emojis, Jack Nicklaus or Nick Saban?
Jack Nicklaus. Coach does not text.
I can't imagine Nick Saban sending a text.
Whenever
Frank.
You got Frank all riled
won't
up.
Be quiet. No, I always know that when I need something from Coach Saban, I text his wife, Miss Terry. That's when it's like, hey, I want to talk to Coach. I'll text her, hey, hope you're doing well. I'd love to talk to Coach sometime. Is there anything, or is there any time that works? And she's like, yeah, he's just on the couch watching film right now. Now's a good time to call.
So you got to go through his people. Yeah. How is he different, like personally, you talking to him on the phone versus what you see like in the media after a game?
His demeanor doesn't change. He's very, very tough to get to smile and laugh. I sometimes have to catch myself because I like to BS with him. I like to joke around with him. And I was actually telling him about how I watched the Georgia game with with Kisner, and we rented a house that week, and I was like, yeah, Kiz was talking to Kirby, and I was watching it with Kiz, and Kiz was making all these excuses, and man, I was just so happy to see us win, and I'm kind of laughing, and he didn't say a word. And I was like, so the game this weekend, huh?
Anyways, yeah, way to go. I'll call you later.
Yeah, so that part of him doesn't change, but once he loves golf, so like a lot of athletes, that's kind of he wants to talk about golf just like we want to talk to him about something else, so he's easy to talk to.
Well, you are a diehard fan. There's no doubt about it. I've watched games with you.
I've gotten better, Colt.
You've gotten better? Well, I followed yours and Jordan Spieth's group at the PGA, and obviously a number of times they brought up how big of a fan you are. Scott Van Pelt brought this up, and I said, let me tell you something. If you ever want to feel uncomfortable, go watch an Alabama game where they're actually losing with Justin Thomas. I felt more comfortable in the gym. I mean, it is he gets up and leaves. Like, it's not comfortable.
I respect that. One time.
Yeah.
But when you lose once every 4 years, dude, it's going to hit you a little harder.
Yeah. It was a national championship game, too.
Right.
It's not like...
Stings.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah. It's not like the Cowboys lose every week. Like, that's a thing,
listen, this is about you. This isn't about me.
Don't deflect. Let's not get into any of our teams here. We're on a little bit of a cold stretch right now.
But let's go back to your rookie year on the PGA Tour, because 2015 started off a little slow, missed the first couple cuts, and then you kind of figured things out a little bit. Was there ever like a little bit of a panic at all when you started out on the season? You're like, oh boy, I just missed my first 2 cuts right out of the gate.
A little bit, and it's just kind of bizarre. And I mean, I remember it clear as day. It was the Sunday night of what was the McGladrey then, now the RSM, and I finished dead last. I made the cut. It was the first cut I made the year. I finished dead last, 71st. I made like 0.8 FedEx Cup points. So it rounds up, by the way. I had 1.
You're on the board.
I'm on the board. But that night, just went and had a couple drinks with some guys at, I think it was at Bubba Garcia's, that place there, and Hudson Swafford was there. And I'd known Hud just through golf, and we were just kind of sitting there and talking. I don't know if it was a little bit of a beverage conversation or if he was just looking out for me, but he just told me, he was like, dude, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm doing good. I'm on the PGA Tour or whatever. He's like, you don't have your tour card. I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, no, you don't. He's like, you can't play in what you want. He's like, you do not have your tour card until you earn it. If you can't come in here like celebrating and enjoying this time. He's like, every event is huge. Just like
there's our next guest.
Pay no mind, yeah.
And he said how every event is huge, and it's just important to not get caught up in the moment of, I'm on the PGA Tour at such a young age. This is so awesome. And he's like, you don't have your PGA Tour card until you go earn it that first year, and then you choose what you play in and you're picking your schedule. That's when you have a tour card. And for some reason, I don't know if it was just the right amount of beers I had, but it kind of resonated. And I finished third my next event in Jackson, Mississippi, and then I think like 17th or 20th in Mexico, and then started off the following year better.
Off to the race, I think you finished like 32nd or something at the end of the year that year. But I want to rewind just a little bit, because you had to spend 1 year on the web.com before you got to go to the PGA Tour.
Corn Ferry, get it right.
Well, he played on the web.com.
I know. You got to handle the sponsors.
The Corn Ferry? Okay, yeah. All right. You played on the Corn Ferry /web.com for 1 year. There was no tour cards available at the time. Do you think that the 1 year you spent there led to the success that you had your first year, or do you think you would have had that success in your first year if you could have gone straight from Alabama to the show?
No, I think my good weeks could have been just as good on the PGA Tour, but my bad weeks, there's no way. I wouldn't have had the consistency. I wouldn't have had just the overall understanding of what's going on. I think that was what was huge about now you got me confused what to call it. The Corn Ferry web.com, the corn.com tour.
I like that.
Is I learned how to be a professional golfer. I'm traveling every single week. You're gone 3 or 4 weeks at a time, going to new places you've never been before, playing in pro-am, staying in hotels you've never been before, trying to figure out what the best way for me to spend an off week is, how to train, how to do this and that. And I think because of that year, and it also taught me how to win, taught me how to be in contention. Although I didn't win till the end of the year, being in contention as often as I was, I think helped me learn how to handle it better and how to pretty much not handle it, because I clearly wasn't doing it well earlier in the year. So I think it was really helpful.
You mentioned the win though in Malaysia. I was there.
You were.
Remember being there on the 18th green when you were there. Obviously, it didn't take you a long time to win, but was it kind of frustrating that you didn't win in that first season? Or was it kind of like, all right, for number one goal, let's make sure we have a full-time job next year?
It wasn't. I was expecting to play well and win. At the same time, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to. It just was more about I think that I should, or I think I have the game too. But there's a lot of. I mean, I always look back at the out in Palm Springs. I still think if I start that tournament over on 16, knowing what I do now and putting me there, I think I would have won the tournament. But that's because of situations like that is why I learn. I hit a club off a tee that's completely unnecessary that goes into a bunker, and then I chunk it in the water and I make 6. And when I'm tied for the lead, all I have to do is birdie one of the next 2, which are 2 sand wedges, and then a birdie, a par 5, and I win the golf tournament.
Nice caddy and shorty.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go. You're fired. Pack your shit. Pack your shit.
I honestly didn't think Shorty's name would come up in this show, but I'm glad it did now.
I like that.
Yeah, I had a little adrenaline, and it was a tough scene.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, from that point to where you are now, do you think it's more so like your physical game has gotten better, everything's tightened up, or just you know how to manage your way around the golf course and just get it done?
I would hope both. If I haven't gotten any better in either one of those spots, then that would suck pretty bad. I would need to rethink a lot of things I'm doing, but I know that I've gotten a lot better physically. I mean, I know every part of my game has gotten better, but I mean, mentally, I just am night and day better than I was as a rookie on tour. I think I'm a lot better at turning those 73s, 4s, and 5s into 69, 70, 71s, and I think that's what separates the best on tour is everybody's great days are great, but it's how good are your bad days.
Sleaze is kind of the opposite. He turns those 68 into 75s.
I could spin that any way you want it. What do you want? You need a 77 out of the kid? I got it. 16 greens, I get it done. I'm very versatile.
But JT, you've won 13 times on tour. You got a major, FedEx Cup title. You shot 59, and now you've been on Golf Subpar.
Good round.
What?
59, by the way. I never told you that, by the way. It's a good round.
What's next? What's your next goal you're looking to achieve? Obviously, we got a little tournament coming up here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, probably. I'd like to win that one. I mean, if we're going to get specific here, but there's plenty of tournaments and things I'd like to win that hopefully if I talk to you guys again, I can add a couple more things to my resume.
We'll see if we can fit you in.
Yeah.
Okay. We're pretty busy, pretty booked up here. We'll slide you in.
I know you guys will probably have a hard time coming to Florida again and maybe playing some golf or something.
Yeah, maybe if you could send the plane next time, that'd be a little helpful.
It was a bit of a bitch getting here.
Connecting through Charlotte's really not that cool, I'll be honest.
The chick next to me on the plane here threw up today, no lie.
That's actually a true story.
Not kidding. She was there. I think she was going into a seizure. She was breathing into the bag, like whatever that's called. And then I was like, this chick's having a problem. And then she ended up throwing up after that. So, yeah, this is going to take some work.
Wow.
Yeah, you probably don't see that too often.
See what we went through to get here to you?
You probably don't catch that too often on your flights, huh?
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah. We were walking through the Palm Beach airport. I was like, wonder when the last time Ricky and Justin saw this place. It's seen better days.
What is never for 500. Yeah.
But I know you're a big team guy. I mean, you love those President's Cups and Ryder Cups teams. Do you get more pumped up for those than, say, like a major? Or is it just different?
It's different. It's different. I get pumped up. I definitely get a lot more pumped up, but I don't know how to describe it. My preparation is different. It's like I understand those team events are usually coming off of a tournament. I mean, the President's Cup in Australia was different because having to be in December, but the Ryder Cup is usually right after Atlanta or the President's Cup or whatever it is. So it's like you're playing a lot of golf leading up to it. Whereas a major, we are kind of building our schedule around you. So you're coming off of an off week, and I'm specifically training for that event, and I'm getting ready for that event, hitting shots for that golf course. But like getting to a team event, it takes a while to get to that Thursday or Friday, whatever the event starts, and then it's just like this, it's over, and it takes so much out of you. And I know how important the rest days are for those events. So my focus and my preparation is different in a major, but my emotions and the way I act on a golf course is a lot different.
Yeah, what is it about the team? Because I think it's so cool. Like, I think back to Melbourne. You make the putt on 18. Everybody's going crazy. Like, there's so much emotion. And it happens. It's like just kind of understood, like Ryder Cup, President's Cup, that's the way it's going to be. But yet in individual golf, you never, like, if somebody does that, they're like, come on, dude, relax. You know what I mean? Until, like, maybe the last round of a major or something.
Yeah, it is. And I I think it's because I don't know, you have teammates to celebrate with. Like, yeah, if I made a putt on 18 to win, the Masters and looked at Jimmy and said, I love me some me, I think everybody in the world would think I'm the biggest douchebag there is.
Yep. Good point.
But in a team event, for some reason,
it's cool.
I could get away with it.
There's
still plenty of people that thought I was, but I don't really care.
I want to stay on that topic a little bit,
totally
though.
fine.
But obviously, that's what with Tiger on 18 at the President's Cup, you both yell, "I love me some me." Can you please explain that a little bit and why that even came up?
So, Bud Cauley and I are really good friends, and he and another friend of mine, we've just got on these wormholes of YouTube or Instagram videos, and Terrell Owens has just an unreal montage of these videos.
He's had some moments,
and he's just got that. He's got a scene on the field where the camera's right in his face, and he just looks. He's like, "I love me some me. I can't stand myself," and he just yells it. And I said something on the team bus on the way to the course that day, and nobody had heard of it. Nobody had seen it, and I'm like. I just had it on. I'm like, just pass it back. Everyone see it, and everyone loved it. And I said, I'm telling you guys right now, if I do something worthy on the golf course today, I am going to say it. And I didn't even think about it. Like, I made a putt earlier in the round, and Tiger kind of whispered it to me. He mouthed it. But then on 18, as soon as I made it and I just looked at him, it just was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the perfect time
and
to
have
say
it be with Tiger. I mean, that's just so cool.
Yeah, I blacked out. I don't even really know what happened.
I disagree. I'd think you're the biggest douchebag ever if you did that at an individual tournament. I think I'd like it.
Yeah, well, at least I got one person on my team.
All right. Yeah, I'll back you. I'll back you on that.
Obviously, it's well known you and Tiger have become pretty close over the years. What has he meant to you, in your career?
He's been a lot, man. I just respect him so much. I looked up to him and his golf game and how he won, how he went about it. But now getting to know him, just his preparation, how hard he works. But probably the coolest thing for me is spending time with him with Charlie and just seeing how he loves being around him on the golf course, and him and Sam both. I mean, he is such a good dad, and he loves being around his kids. And it's cool because I think a lot of people might unfortunately give him, a bad rap because of how he maybe is to the media or the people. But it's like, I mean, that dude can't go anywhere. He has a compound at his house for a reason, because he needs everything he needs there because he can't go anywhere else. And I mean, I'm sure he would gladly take that for, someone who hasn't won and can go anywhere he wants. But it's just, to me, that's the coolest thing, is to watch him interact and getting to hang out with him and hitting different shots with him and learning different things. But it's been a lot more of a friendship than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be something where he would, we talk here and there from time to time, but I think he likes how much shit I give him, and he kind of gives it back, and we're able to, I don't want to kiss his ass. Enough people do that to him.
That's true. But obviously you weren't playing with him or practicing with him when he was in his prime, but I'm sure he's probably told you about kind of his work ethic back then. When he tells you some of the stuff he used to do, does it make you kind of look and be like, man, am I doing everything I need to, or do you do as much as he does, or he did?
It's different. I always tell him, I mean, it's easy for him because he doesn't have any friends, so it's it's
amazing. Okay.
It's he's got no one else to hang out with, but no, it was different. I personally couldn't do that. I think I've gotten really, really good the last year and a half or two of understanding when my time is my time to practice. And, I think my rookie year and my second year on tour, I was maybe practicing, going out and spending 8 hours a day on the course, 10 hours a day. And yeah, that might be helpful, but is it really that helpful? I'm so exhausted and so tired, I may not even remember what I did, or my body is just not in good shape. Whereas now, I'll go out for 3 or 4 hours, or sometimes 2 hours, and I'll be alone. I don't want to practice with anybody. I just go in, I have a plan when I'm going in, get my work done, and I'm done. But no, I know that he's one of those rare breeds of he kind of did his own thing, and there's times where guys put in that work. But no, it's interesting too to see how when we first became as close as we did, he was hurt and he was a lot more willing to help me and tell me stuff, and and it's not quite as much.
That
as
was
the
going to
case
be my
anymore.
next question. So like he's probably would be in the conversation for the most like intense competitors in any sport of all time. Like, do you go to him and ask for advice? And if so, is he willing to give it, or is he kind of like, hey, I'll be your boy, but you figure your thing out on your own?
It really depends on the timing. I have to be smart about when I ask. I mean, this week, next week, he's not going to tell me anything. When first time I went over to his house was 2 or 3 years ago. I think maybe 3 years ago, because he didn't play the Masters that year and he hadn't announced it, and he wasn't going to announce it until a couple of days prior. So he's like, why don't you come over, we'll chip and putt. And kind of the first day I went over, I'm like, how you feeling? He's like, all right. I'm like, you think you're going to play next week? He's like, I'm not going to play. He's like, I haven't told anybody yet. So he's like, don't say anything. I'm like, yeah, no, for sure. And so, I mean, he's just teaching me so many shots around the greens and what holes, I'm going to use it on, and how to hit different bunker shots, and why I can't do this and why I can't do that. And I was like, man, that was unbelievable. And then the next year, I was like, hey, let me know if you want to do some short game work this week. Like, I'm around. He's like, I'm playing this year. It's like,
New phone.
You're out, kid.
New phone.
I was like,
Who
yeah,
dis?
I know, but let me know if you want to practice. He's like, I'll see you in Augusta. Like, okay.
That's awesome.
Sweet. I respect that. That's
I
awesome.
love
like,
that.
nah,
I do
dude,
too.
I'm back now.
I do too.
I got to ask you one thing. It's a little off subject, but I was looking at your PGA Tour profile the other day, and I'm sure you have no idea what it says. But under special interest, it's blank.
Oh,
Really?
You have no special interest, apparently.
You're an interesting dude.
So let's just say we're going to fill it out right now. What would be under special interest for Justin Thomas, besides Alabama football?
Special interests.
It's blank. Got all your other things in there. There's nothing.
I don't know. I don't really do it.
So that's why it's blank.
Yeah, I have no hobbies.
You're not fishing like all the. I thought
like
all
to
you Jupiter
fish.
guys go out on the boat and fish and do all.
I mean, I have if guys with boats ask me to go fish, but I don't live in the water and I don't really like to boat, so I'm not gonna.
So there you go.
No reason to waste my money
All
on
right,
a
that's
boat.
probably not on the list.
Good point. Perfect.
Yeah, I don't really. I like vacations. Does that count as a special
Yeah,
interest?
it's like going to those discovery
Sports
properties.
gambling.
I do
Sports gambling, betting overs
sometimes.
occasionally. Yeah. Okay.
But you've told us many a times, when you do something cool, when you have an achievement or you win a tournament, you always treat yourself to something nice. Do you have these things like listed out? Like you kind of know, like, all right, my next win, I'm going to do this. Or is it something that just comes to you once the win happens?
I try to. Probably 4 or 5 of them I've known. Like, all right, my next one I'm doing this. Like my man cave in my house, I was like, my next win, I'm starting this and we're doing this project. And one time it was a car, another time it was a watch, another time it was another watch. It was like, or I'm gonna get something for my mom or my dad or Jill. It just, but.
Or Colt, which you always never come through with.
Yeah, we've had a couple times where I was going to get Colt a watch if I won, and
He told me about it. He
I've never rooted harder for you
He
in
was
my
really
life.
high on you that week, I believe.
I seem to not want to win those weeks, so sorry about that, Colt.
There's something
See,
about
maybe
that.
if it's something
about
bigger
that
than a
Colt.
watch, you'll really try.
Something about
Really?
that Colt.
Yeah.
What's bigger than what do you want? A
Car,
plane?
I don't know.
Car.
Maybe some
Jesus.
hours.
Some
Yeah.
hours. All right, some hours.
No, no big
That's
deal.
reasonable. Cash in the watch for some hours.
Okay, well, what do you have?
Yeah, what's next
picked
up?
out for next? Yeah.
I don't have anything specific planned right now, so this is one of those times where I'm not exactly sure.
All right.
My car is not in yet.
God, I know.
It's
You want to tell the people what
Yeah,
you got
can
on
we
order?
hear about it, or is it?
It's a
Top secret.
Lamborghini Urus. It's going to be here in 3 weeks.
I was kind of
That'll
really
be-
expecting it to be at West Palm Airport waiting on me.
Yeah, one would think.
Yeah, I guess I could have picked you guys up.
One would think
Sorry
that'll
about
be
that.
useful around this gated community with 600 horsepower. That'll be good. You can almost get out of first gear maybe once
I'll
in a
be
while.
able to zip
You
it to
can-
the end of my
You
driveway.
can coast down to your golf club and then coast back, but you'll have 600 ponies just in case.
I love it. Well, Slee, should we get to asking for a friend, or you got anything else you want to go through?
Well, we have a special segment before asking for
You
a
wanna
friend.
go to that first?
Debuting for the one and only JT.
This is our first time on Golf Subpar debuting What Do You Mean, which we created on our SiriusXM show, which you are a legend at.
You
You're
have the
best.
crown currently. Don't get too comfortable. It can be taken, but
Yes.
you
Can
are
be.
you are the undisputed king right now of the
So
segment.
let's explain real quick to the people listening. We have this segment called What Do You Mean, where basically we find funny lyrics and rap songs, and Justin or whoever our guest is has to break it down.
Yes.
And explain what it means. And he's very good at this.
Yeah, you gotta. It can only be for hip hop guys. You can't ask
Yeah.
a country guy. You
Yeah.
can't have one of those guys. So you got to be a hip hop guy. You're big into hip hop. Quickly, who are you listening to right now?
There isn't that much new stuff out lately. Although I wasn't a huge fan of his of his stuff. I kind of like 21 Savage's new album. He's got a couple good stuff on there. There's just kind of random songs here and there.
Colt,
Jack
like
Harlow.
That was my next question. You have to be on Jack Harlow, right?
Yeah.
Louisville guy.
Louisville
I feel like
dude.
you two are gonna. I feel like you're gonna be in a music video at some point.
That'd be cool.
He just did Tyler Hero's whole song about
I
him,
know.
dude. You go do some things,
I'm
maybe you
waiting,
get a
man.
song.
I'm
Well,
a golfer.
that
I
would
don't have
make
enough
sense.
street cred.
I'll be honest, I
maybe
didn't
not.
pick either of those guys for
That's
my
fine.
songs.
That's okay.
I picked a guy named 2 Chainz.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is great.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I am.
All right. So cold, I frostbite 'em. No pig Latin, but I hog tied 'em. What do you mean?
Make him read it again. Make him read it. Just
it again.
So cold.
Hold on.
I've-
Can you like sing a little
No,
bit?
Yeah,
I
like a
can't.
little rhythm.
I'm a country boy, okay?
All right.
This is
Hold on. Let
hard
me
for me.
think about this.
So cold, I frostbite 'em. No pig Latin, but I hog tied 'em.
But I hog tied him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
I have no idea.
this is a tricky one. Normally we tee you up for something just to get you
So
to say
the
it.
first line again.
So cold, I frostbite 'em.
Yeah, so I
those
mean,
go together.
Yeah, so I mean, that's clearly talking about his chains, his watch.
Ice.
I mean,
The
yeah, his
ice.
ice.
You
You
say
know, it's like
icy.
exactly. It's so cold. All of his jewelry or whatever he's wearing, 2 Chainz is wearing that day is apparently giving everyone frostbite.
Yeah,
I
that's cold.
understand.
That's a cold temperature.
I do understand that part, but the no pig Latin, but I hog tied 'em.
But I hog tied him.
I mean, a pig and a hog, I get that, but I don't know what they're doing with the Latin and the tying 'em.
Yeah, I think
a sneaky one.
2 Chainz might have had maybe
He
a
might-
couple too many before that one.
He
I
might
don't-
be so far above us we don't even know.
Yeah,
You know?
that could be. I mean, I'm embarrassed because I feel comfortable in this game, but
Yeah, you
I'm
are-
I was
not
looking to stump you.
This was one of those ones where it's like
Pig Latin.
this is no win for you.
I don't even think
Yeah,
he knows what it means.
yeah,
I'm
it
with
doesn't
you.
because it's not. I mean, I've heard some Pig Latin lines referenced in songs before that they actually make sense, but that
You want me to be honest with you? I googled rap lyrics that make no sense at all, and this is one of the ones that came up.
He showed it to me today. He showed it to me today, and I read it. I was like, "That's perfect." I have no
clue what it
idea
means.
what that means.
I wish I would have.
So that's good. All right, that was we. I feel like you've graduated from the radio show. You knocked those out of the park. Now we're up in the level of difficulty right now. So you're like you went from a white belt. Now you're yellow.
This is
all that
Sleaze's
stuff.
favorite part because he used to rap.
Yeah,
So
I had a small career underground. No big deal. Unreleased album.
All right, give
Kinda
it to
like
him.
Dre's detox album. All right, next one. Kanye West. Ready? Pockets on Shrek. Rockets on deck. What comes next? Alien sex?
Wow.
Yeah. We need some Jeopardy music. Yeah. So I told you we moved.
Pockets on Shrek, I would assume, because Shrek is large and he's got large pockets because he's got a lot of money in them.
That's,
Okay.
That can confirm that.
1 for 4, and this could be the end of it. What was the next
You
line?
got the frostbite part. Rockets on deck is what we're asking.
Rockets on deck.
Yes.
I feel like I got to be careful here.
See, I thought
Colt, maybe you
Yeah,
chime
Colt,
in.
yeah.
Phone a friend if you want to
Rockets
phone a
on
friend.
deck. He's got like his jets waiting.
Yeah,
See,
I never heard him
I
referred to as rocket.
I'm going to
Yeah.
disagree, and I think rocket, what he's referring to, could be slang for a pistol or some
Yeah,
sort of
that's-
gun, and it's on deck, meaning like I got
Yeah,
it.
he's
You know
got
what
it.
I mean?
He's
Like,
got
you
it.
need it.
I'm a
got
country guy.
Colt,
Yeah. They're
we'll
more
give you like a
loved than-
Florida Georgia line next.
Yeah, we're lovers in our
Yeah,
country
exactly.
songs.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. This is why I picked it because I was like, neither of these. I was like, I don't know. So I just want to hear it comes up. But the next line is, what comes next? Alien sex. Tough.
Yeah. I mean, with Kanye, you just never know what he's thinking from one sentence to the next. So I think, really, after he said the first 2 things, talking about his pockets being large and having his guns ready, it's like, what's going to happen now? Some aliens are going to have sex? I don't know.
There
I
it
count
is.
it. That's correct.
Yep,
I
you
don't-
win.
there is no correct answer, but that's correct.
Much
right there.
that was a much better
You
answer
win.
than hog tied him.
You still have the crown. We went high level right there. I don't know if we can ever bring anything like that. All right,
Those
that was
those almost weren't fun because I couldn't
Too hard?
even. Yeah.
we thought about
Well,
that.
to be honest,
But
it's
I
really
wanna
hard to
challenge
find
you.
rap lyrics that are appropriate to break
Yeah.
down. We don't have many in this world.
Yeah.
We've used a lot of them on you already.
Yeah, and I honestly thought I was like, alien sex might be pushing the line here. I don't want to, go over the line.
we're gonna find
But,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll find out. Now we'll get into our recurring emergency 9.
No, we got to ask. I got a couple asking for a friend first.
Oh,
I got a
we're
couple
gonna
of
do a little
submitted
asking
questions.
for a friend.
no.
Okay, we're doing a lot.
Got a
here.
couple of submitted questions from some good friends of yours.
Okay.
One, some people think you are friends. Not sure if you are. Jordan Spieth.
Mm-hmm.
Might have heard of him. He goes, Justin, you've played all over the world, some of the best golf courses in the world. Where would you rank 15 at Riviera on your list of favorite holes?
Oh, man.
He just won't let that one get away from you, will he?
You know, I'd probably rank it right above 12 at Augusta.
I knew that's where you were going with that. I knew that's where you were
Right
going.
that's
above
good.
12 at Augusta.
Oh, well played, sir.
That's
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
All right. I kind of like where you
Just
did
flipped
with
it on him
Yep.
right
Sorry,
there.
Jordan.
Just-
Kind of backfired on you.
Whoopsies.
All right, the next one from a guy that lives just down the road a little ways, Gary Woodland.
Oh.
Your
This will
good
be
friend
intelligent.
Gary. Yeah. Justin, which week do you think went better? The one where we went to the KU game in New York City and the Alabama football game in Tuscaloosa, or when we shared a house this year during the tournament in Boston? Please explain to us what all happened at all these things.
The first event where we went to the KU game and then the Alabama game, I would say that was better because at least we had fun. We had some beverages to get us through, but he took me to the KU game. They played Duke, I believe it was, at Madison Square Garden. Unbelievable experience. You know, Gary knows everybody at KU, and they got us some unreal tickets. And
Saw you on TV the whole game. It was really disappointing.
yeah, it's a lot of forehead on TV. And so we got to watch that game. KU lost. But kind of like I explained to him, is they could lose. You know, them losing a basketball game is a little different than what happened a couple of days later at the Alabama LSU football game, where we gave up 4,000 points to LSU and lost.
That was a rough weekend for
Yeah.
your sports teams.
It was. We were so excited, and it went from everyone like loving, following along, to everyone in Kansas telling me to never come back, and everyone in Alabama telling him.
Yeah,
to never
maybe you
come
guys
back.
just don't watch sports together anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
But that was one weekend. But then you have a house together in Boston,
yeah.
and I heard something interesting happened.
Yeah, we so especially during all the COVID stuff, we just had gotten in a habit of myself and a group of guys, and Gary as well, renting houses and bringing a chef along, just to feel like it's less places you have to go, just as safe as possible. And so we shared a house that week, and Gary had a chef that he'd been using, and I had a chef that I had been using. The chef that I had been using was working for Patrick Cantlay and I think Jordan that week, and his chef, I don't know, was not working for him.
Yeah.
So I'm at the house, and I text him. I'm like, hey, when you getting in? He's like, oh, I'll just land to be there in a little bit. I was like, is your chef with you? And he was like, haha, funny. He's like, is Chef Parker come in with you? I was like, no, he's with Cantlay, remember? It's like, you have your chef, right? He's like, no, it's his birthday this week. I'm like, well, we got nothing then, because we do not have anything. So
I blame Gary.
Yeah,
I
blame
100%
Gary,
blame
too.
Gary.
So what'd y'all
Gary,
do for
too.
food?
Was that a Postmates week?
Jill made dinner for us the first two nights, I think, and we kind of made some breakfast to make way. But we ended up. I reached out to Chef Parker and had him make some stuff. And
Please, dear God, send us food. We're starving over here.
Smuggle it over to our house.
Gary knows how to make cereal.
yeah,
I need help.
it's pretty much. And neither one of us really. He missed the cut, and I didn't play very well. So that was a tough week.
Blame Gary. It's what you always go to.
Always.
All right,
agree
now this
more.
is our Emergency 9 segment where we do this with every guest. Please, would you like to start?
Yeah,
it
I'll
off?
start it off. This
Okay.
is the recurring one we ask everybody. Movie being made about the life of Justin Thomas. Who
yeah.
plays you?
I got a good one, I think.
Who you think would play me?
Yeah, we get
Yeah,
our
we gotta
opinion
wait.
as well.
Okay.
You can pick any actor. I mean, there's no wrong answer.
Can I pick an actress?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, I'd love
might
Jennifer
steal
Aniston
mine.
to play me. She's
Okay, well,
pretty
that's
hot.
not going to happen, Jordan.
Who'd you
I mean,
say?
Justin.
Who'd you say?
I said Jennifer Aniston. That'd be kind of cool.
Good. You got the same legs.
Be the best looking
You
I've
might
ever been
have
in
the
my
same
life.
leg. Yeah, exactly.
I've got Michael Cera for you.
I had the same dude.
No way.
That might
That's
be the
funny.
first time that's ever happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Cera. It's
good.
You know who that is?
No.
Have you seen Superbad?
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
the kid that the girl
Yeah.
wants to hook up with.
Yeah. He's great, by the
Wow.
way.
He's
Don't take that as
awesome.
I
No,
knew
he's
he's
great.
I almost didn't.
I'm
I was like, he's
picturing
gonna
his
take it as a bad
awkwardness in
thing,
that
but
movie.
he's great.
Yeah. Think
Oh,
about
yeah.
yeah. There's other movies, but he's
Yeah.
great.
And he's funny in everything he does too.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. That's not a. That's a. I feel like that's a compliment more than
Yeah,
anything.
that is great. He's
That's
awesome.
This is a
weird.
good one.
Yeah.
All right. Good looking.
All right. All right, number 2. When your phone rings and you look down to see who it is, do you get more excited if it's your beautiful girlfriend Jill or Tiger?
My beautiful girlfriend Jill.
Good answer since she's right around
She's
the corner.
right there, dude.
was a setup.
Wink if it's Tiger, though. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's the appropriate answer. All right, next one. Why did you demand that your mom stop Snapchatting with Colt? He told me, dude. I've seen there was some back and forth there. I feel like it was a real thing, and you shut it down.
I've seen my mom try to text before. There's no way that she knows how to Snapchat.
Followed me on Snapchat.
They
We were best friends for a while.
They're buddies, dude.
Most of them are like baby pictures of you.
What's the next question?
All right, next up.
All right, I want you to react to this following statement. Hitting the golf ball far is not a skill.
Laughable. It's laughable.
So these are comments from Matthew Fitzpatrick, and I heard
Yeah.
you had some very strong feelings about this.
I did, and I heard that Matt thinks that I don't like him from what he told someone. I have nothing against Matt. I just think that his opinion was totally wrong. I don't understand how you can tell me or anybody that what Bryson has done. It's like, look, you don't have to like the guy. You don't have to agree with what he's doing. You can think he's different, whatever, but you can't argue the fact that he has completely transformed his body, which is large, by the way. He is a unit and done it successfully and played well and won a major. And I mean, he's spent so much he's pretty much given up his life. He's completely changed his entire lifestyle and what he's done. And I mean, it's just like someone learning to jump higher, someone learning to throw a football farther. It's like, it's a skill, and you can get as mad as you want, but at the end of the day, every single sport is progressing in some way or the other. And obviously this is an extreme, but I just don't know. I understand what he was saying about you need to hit it straight and you need to get it up and down. But another thing is Bryson won the U.S. Open because he putts the hell out of it,
yes.
Not because he hits it really far. Yeah, it helps, but if he putted like every other person who hits as far as him, he would, probably be putting my mail in my mailbox every other day. So it's like he makes it count what he has, and I just don't see how that's not a skill.
I think it's a very good skill. Coming from a guy who's pound for pound longest to pound for pound shortest, I think it's a very big skill.
That's a good point. We'll do a lot more pound for pound things. We're big pound for pound guys on this show.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next one. Yeah, I believe you're one of the early investors in Whoop. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Shout out to Whoop. Everyone go get a Whoop. But a little birdie told me that you are in a little group chat where you guys are all in the group. You can monitor each other's recovery. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know right now, what's the lowest recovery you've seen from someone in your group? And if you want to give the name of who it was.
One.
Oh, you got a one?
You got one?
Twice.
I didn't know one was
Wow, well
possible.
played, sir.
Yeah.
2 times,
You
huh?
beat me.
Yeah.
When was that?
I forget when. No, one of them was. Oh, one of them was after. It was after Colonial, because it was like I mean, over quarantine, I was very strict about everything I was doing. I was not drinking at all, very, very, very little. I was working out really hard, practicing really hard those last month or month and a half, and then it was weird. I never wanted to. I just was kind of doing my own thing. Then all of a sudden I played one golf tournament. I'm like, damn, I want to drink. Like, I was like, I'm back. Exactly. And it's just like I stayed at the Spieth's house that night. I had a couple tequilas, had like a glass of wine, and I woke up the next day like I felt fine. One banger.
See, that's why I don't believe those things. Sorry, Whoop. It frustrates me.
Yeah.
The
one is
truth
hard
hurts,
to do.
Colt.
I feel like one's like borderline dying.
You only got one more and you're dead.
Yeah.
And you've done it twice, so you might want to check.
I mean, the thing is like I said, I was like, I know what one feels like in this. I've felt worse than this.
Yeah,
before.
way worse.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of it has to do with what, like, because I had been consistently not doing that, it all of a sudden was like, whoa, what the hell are you doing? Like,
Shock to the system.
Exactly. So,
That came from your boy Bud Colley, who, by the way, is the worst researcher. I would call for some scoop, and he literally can't put us in it. I'm like, okay, Bud, see it. You're just you're lucky
that.
you're really good at golf because you're terrible.
Yeah, I've had a lot of times with Bud. So
Yeah.
All right, next question.
try for the best.
You're born and raised Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
Louisville. Okay. You have to pick one event to go to one last time in your life. You're picking the Kentucky Derby or the Iron Bowl, Alabama Auburn. Oh, man. Yeah, we bring tough ones around here, bud. Because I know you love both of them.
I'm going to go Kentucky Derby.
Really? That surprised me. I would have gotten that wrong.
I think the the Iron Bowl is fun to watch, and I mean it's obviously great to watch in person. But I mean personally, there's not much better place to watch a football game than on your couch. Like it's just
That's fair.
It's nice, but man, you've been to the Derby. Like
Yeah.
It is the greatest day experience. It's just such a weekend and such an event.
Well, Nick Saban just deleted your phone number.
And headline: Justin
He had someone do it for him.
Justin Thomas hates Alabama. That's what we're gonna. That's what we're gonna
That'll be
put
the
on
headline
front.
for
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. All right. Now that you're a seasoned broadcast veteran after your debut at the match, do you think more broadcasters should add the term "fat ass" to their repertoire? Like it's not used enough, dude.
I agree. I was a little nervous on that one. I'm not gonna lie. I think it'd be. There's obviously a line of where you can and can't go, but I mean, I think it'd be better if you could have some fun on those things and say
it was beautiful.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
And knowing Charles and you know him so well, it's like. There's very few people there's nobody I would say that to if I didn't know, but there's very few people that I know that on live TV with whatever millions watching Chuck would love that.
Oh, Chuck loves it.
He can handle that.
He was at Whisper Rock yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He went out and played, getting ready for the next match. He was hitting some balls. And he's like, yeah, I was talking to your boy Justin before the match, and he's like, he asked me how I get it in the fairway, like when I'm nervous. And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, Justin told me he has a go-to shot. He goes, so I'm working on my go-to shot. And me and his boy Roy Green were like, what, contact? Is that your go-to shot? Like, I was like, you honestly think you're Justin Thomas? Like, you can just pick this go-to?
On ball.
Let's just get it going. He's the best, though.
He is,
awesome.
yeah.
All right. Well, like I said earlier, we're at your house. It's beautiful. Looked around. You got a lot of TVs here. Unbelievable TV setup, okay? I feel like you know a lot about them, okay? So ever since y'all returned from quarantine, obviously no fans and all this, and I watch a lot of golf, and every time they show you, my TV the sound keeps going in and out. I don't know what's going on. Do you think I should look into getting a new TV, or should I call my local cable provider and see if they can help me with the problem?
I think you should call your local cable provider.
I got the same problem, bro. Mine always going out right after he hits.
The sound goes, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's the strangest thing. I called Cox last week. I was like, yeah, it only goes out right after Justin Thomas hits, but I want to see him.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Weird.
Must be an Arizona thing.
Strange. Yeah, it's probably just out west.
It's a cable. It's the delay, because you guys are in different time zones.
That makes total sense.
And COVID and the moon.
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that
yeah,
shit. It's probably
for sure.
Yeah, I get it. All right. That makes sense now. Okay,
Yeah.
good. We're glad we cleared that up. All right, last question. You do not miss cuts very often, okay? But you've roomed with my guy Colt here on the road 3 times, and you've missed all 3 cuts. What is it about Colt that just brings out the absolute worst in you?
I would say Colt brings out the absolute worst tournament golf in me. He doesn't bring out the worst in me.
No. Golf-wise, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there was obviously Hawaii, Vegas, and what else?
When I had the rent house in Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah, I really weren't even.
I was 2 for 3, just for the record.
I wasn't close in any of them. I wasn't even remote, kind of close.
What is it?
And everybody gives me shit about it. And I was
snores,
like Hawaii this year, we had this 2-bedroom thing, and I was like, dude, I didn't drink a drop of alcohol.
No.
We watched basketball, hung out.
I
Nothing.
think he's poisoning you or something, slipping something in there.
No.
Never.
No, I mean,
It's my guy. I would never.
Yeah.
he's pulling for
I don't
me.
know.
I
You never
think.
know Colt.
I mean,
Yeah, I want to watch.
it's
Look,
produced. It's produced a couple good Friday nights. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
But
for sure.
other than that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love Colt, but yeah, I think. I was gonna say our days of rooming and tournaments are done, but Colt retired on us. So
That's
It's
true.
true.
He did retire.
And just so you know, the European Ryder Cup team has called me about coming and hanging around you during Ryder Cup week, and I said, no, I can't do that to my guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colt.
People are bidding on his services right now. Like, just hang out with JT for a couple days.
Colt will buy into that.
Yeah.
There's
He's
everything's
for
got a
sale, dude.
number.
Depends on how big that check is,
Everything's
you know?
got
He's
a
more
number.
for sale than
Awesome.
anyone.
JT, well, this has been a blast, man. We can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you,
guys.
man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, that was world number 3, Justin Thomas. We joined him at his house down there in Florida. Sleaze, I'll be honest, he's got a lot more trophies around his house than we got.
There's some hardware.
Yeah.
There's some hardware
Some
around
very
that,
nice
and some
hardware.
pictures too. How about the picture of him? I was at the par 3 tournament at the Masters where it was like he and Ricky and Jordan were all in the same group in the back-to-back hole, and it's a picture of all 3 of them in the moment, all like freaking out. That's one of the coolest pictures I've seen.
Yeah, it was really cool. He was so much fun to talk to. I thought one of the most fascinating things was talking about his relationship with Tiger. They've turned into this little bromance right here, which I think probably makes Justin's girlfriend Jillian a little jealous at times. But it's so cool to see how Tiger's kind of taken Justin under his wing a little bit. Talks about how he helped him getting ready for his first Masters when Tiger was not able to play. But now that he's back playing, he's like, hey, kid, you figured it out on your own.
Figure your own shit out.
Yep.
I did it that way. But yeah, I mean, how cool for Justin Thomas as a guy. Literally idolizing this guy coming up like we all did around that age. And then all of a sudden you fast forward a number of years, and he's the guy requesting to play with you at tournaments, and he's taking you under your wing, and you're playing with him in President's Cups and things like that. That's invaluable, I think, just being around Tiger in that regard. And something that we've seen change in Tiger is 10, 15 years ago, I don't think you would have seen him do that. And now that he's getting a little bit older, he's willing to take guys under his wing.
I think one of the best qualities Justin has, and I think why he is so good at what he does, he's got that FU inside him. You know, he's not scared to go out there. And I mean, he's a competitive man. He wants to rip your throat out every time he tees it up against you. And I love that. Like, he's a nice guy off the golf course, but on the course, he's out there to win, and all he wants to do is win. And it's really cool to see.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting dynamic amongst just those guys down in Jupiter. Like, there's so many of them that live next door to each other, really close to one another, play at the same golf courses. Our buddies hang out off the course, but then you get them at a golf tournament, and they all want to kill each other, which I think is cool. Like, I think back in the day, there were more like rivalries, quote unquote, but I think every single one of these guys wants to rip the other one's face off every time they're out there. But at the same time, they're going to wait for you behind the 72nd green and go out to dinner with you afterwards, which I think is a pretty interesting, pretty cool dynamic amongst these young guys.
Justin wants to kill you at everything he does. Beer pong, I mean, you can play a trivia game. He wants to win everything he does. And that's one reason he's so successful. I mean, obviously, he's extremely talented, and I think this is a guy we're going to see bouncing back and forth from that number one spot in the world throughout his career. I mean, he's that good.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought it was cool talking about what Bryson's doing right now and all the attention that he's getting. Justin's not really in a race to try to hit it 30 more yards or change his body or doing. He's like, look, dude, I'm plenty long to win golf tournaments hitting it the way I hit it. And he's not kind of falling in. I don't want to call it a trap because I think people can be successful with it. But he's not out there trying to reinvent the wheel and like, yo, I got to keep up. I got to get 20 mile an hour club head speed every time or whatever. You know, he's confident in what he does enough to not have to try to change just because somebody else is doing it and having success.
No doubt. And I'm pretty sure it's a safe bet that he and I will probably never share a house or a hotel together.
You're the one thing that can derail that talent. That's a special man that can fuck up some talent like that. He's
really,
pretty good.
It's really sad that I'm like so well behaved those weeks too. It's the only missed cuts he misses in his whole
He's missed
career.
like 6 cuts in his career, and you're three of them. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Also, good to have him. Our first time doing it on this show. The What Do You Mean? Where we'll save it for some of our hip hop people, but we might start trotting it out a little bit, breaking down some of the lyrics. We did whiff. We were told right after when we were doing the Kanye line, it was rockets on deck, and none of us really knew what the hell was going on. We did find out afterwards from our trusted producer, Mark here, rocket meaning an attractive woman. So rockets on deck. We were talking about guns and some other stuff, so we whiffed on that.
I will never claim to know anything about hip-hop, okay? I just somewhat try to read the lyrics and hope that they understand what the hell I'm saying. I'm a country music guy.
Yeah, the rhythm could use a slight tweak.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'm a country music guy.
But he's done that on a radio show a few times. It's some of the best. So for guys going forward that are hip-hop guys, we got to make sure. We'll try to use that segment a few more times.
But thanks to Justin Thomas for joining us. It was an absolute blast. And Sleaze, we keep the big dogs rolling. Next week, the young fella, Matthew Wolff, live from in Florida.
The wild dog, the wolf, right down there in Old Palm. We had a great time sitting down with him, and God, it was cool getting all 3 of those guys. But Wolf, I mean, what he's done in major championships in his short term, 2 of them, 2 top 5s.
Fourth and second.
He ain't struggling too bad to get adapted. So yeah, another big one coming next week.
Yeah, and he was a lot of fun. He's a guy like that we knew, but we didn't know very well.
Right.
We got to spend some time, play golf with him at Grove 23 the day before, or the day of. The day we recorded it, and I thought that was a big help. We got to know him, got to be around us for a little bit, and he was a blast, man. I could have talked to him for 2 hours.
And he'll talk to you for 2 hours too. Like we showed up, neither of us really knew him. By the time we were on the second hole, I mean, it was just business as usual, just chatterbox and all that type of stuff. And you and I both said on the range even, there's a different sound coming off of that club face than there's not many tour pros that can produce that. He's got this heavy hit and it is fast, and yeah, he's got big upside.
Next week's guest, Matthew Wolff. It's a blast. But that's going to do it for this week. We'll talk to you next week on Golf Subpar.